Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2. If you are watching this, as you can see, I am not in my normal space. This is extremely low quality video right now, so bear with me. I'm sure everyone has heard about the fires in LA, and I am sad to say that I was affected. I lost my home and everything in it. Luckily, my neighbor, who's amazing, collected all of my equipment at the last second. We threw it in my car. So I do have all of my things to work, which feels great. It's been about 3 weeks. So I'm so happy to be back in the swing of things and focused on connecting with all of you guys because it honestly fills me up so much and I want some normalcy back. But I thought it was a great opportunity to share with you my process and certain pieces of information that has helped me through challenges because I think there's a really false sense of understanding when you evolve. A lot of people have this false idea that challenges disappear. I know so many times people talk to me and they just think I have no challenges because they don't really see a lot of quote unquote struggle going on. And I thought this was a perfect opportunity to share my experience and how I handle challenges nowadays and all the pieces that help me get through this. So let's dive into it. And again, thanks for bearing with me on my new current setup. I have I have so many people. I can't name all of them. It's insane how many people have stepped in to help. And I have two really good friends, one who I stayed with for 3 weeks, and now I'm staying with another dear friend who has given me a place to set up my work. So thanks for bearing with me with all of this setup. We're slowly putting it back together again. And I'll be here for a few weeks and I'll try to record and share as much of the process with you guys because I also want you to see how quickly things can turn around if you use the understandings and the laws of the universe and these spiritual practices. It really, really helps because I guess I'll start with, and this is what I want to share the most today, is that this idea that challenges are going to stop from your life if you evolve and your consciousness expands and you do spiritual practices or work on yourself. This idea that challenges are just going to disappear is absolutely false. I had a friend the other day. He gave the perfect example. He's like, Jesus at his heightened, most genius, most highest conscious state was put on the cross and died. He went through this horrific experience when he was at his highest consciousness. And so I really want to talk today about challenges because these challenges are going to show up in your life. It's just how you use them, how you look at them, how they can completely open up your life. And that is what I've been doing since the fires. I gave myself a week to 2 weeks to just not dive into anything too much. But I can tell you, because of all of the things I'm going to share on this channel, and all of these understandings I have of the world, it made it a lot easier. My systems just brought me into a heightened state most of the time, but I let my body process a little bit. And then I dove into all of the pieces that were going to help me unfold all of this and understand all of it. So, number one is to realize that as you are here on this earth, it is absolutely impossible to rid yourself of challenges, no matter what. And I think that is something that we should remove out of our system because you will constantly be disappointed every single time a challenge shows up in your life. And we don't need to feel that on top of the challenge. So I would say remove this idea that challenges are going to disappear at some point in your life. They will always be there, and there's a very good reason for it. The challenges are where we get the pieces that we are looking for, the answers that we've been asking for. If you listen to my first episode, this whole world is an inside out world. So when these things happen, It is a very clear message of something that was imbalanced inside. For me, this was a 5 month emotion that I was feeling. And because we are human, because we have so many things going on in our life, and I'm constantly looking at pieces, but this one was underneath the surface. I just kept putting it aside, not realizing it was building. But this was an emotion that was getting louder and louder in my system. And then I became a match to the fires and all that. And I'm not angry at that at all because it was my higher self's way of getting my attention, of saying, hey, this thing is out of balance. Let's find the solution for this, heal it, tweak it, shift it. And what's amazing is the minute you do that, you don't feel any pain. So for me, again, challenges, I know that this is an inside out world. And if you have not listened to that episode, number one, go back to that because it'll make a lot more sense, because everything good and bad is created by our electromagnetic field. And big challenges to small challenges, they're all imbalances within us. And we cannot eliminate that. No matter how much we grow and evolve, be it your highest consciousness, and you're still going to have growth, meaning you're going to want to grow. Like for me, I constantly want to grow every single day of my life. So there is always going to be something that in my day to day that shows me something out of balance. And I welcome that because I want the next piece of my genius. I want the next piece of unraveling my value. I said at the very beginning in the intro episode, I want this channel to be all about unlocking your value and completely stepping into this world and what it has to offer. And I promise you, challenges are going to be where the answers lie. So I really had to reprogram this idea, two ideas. One, that this illusion that you can get rid of challenges. If you look at people and you're like, oh my God, they're just killing it and that's all they're doing, then it's a false sense of reality. You're not seeing the other side behind it. And sometimes those people also could just have soul contracts, and that's why it's working out. We'll talk about soul contracts, but certain things are just easily handed to souls because that is what we're meant to have at that time. So do not base your life or compare your life to what you see outside of you. And realistically, because what we see outside, there's so many laws, from reflections to inside out voice to laws of balance, all these things that you're not even going to see the truth anyways. But I do want you to have this idea that the most brilliant people, if you really look in the history books, they failed a lot and they had a lot of negative things to find their genius. I don't want you to grow and evolve and have this idea that the goal is to get to a place where you are not challenged, because you will never find that, which means you will always be let down. And then at some point you could turn on like, oh, this doesn't work. I don't like this, yada, yada, yada. There was a point a few years ago, I think it was like 3 to 4 years ago, where I really had to get on board because, funny enough, as you do grow, the challenges get, I would say, not more intense, but more specific. So it feels a little like, oh my God, what the heck? How is this happening? So I just want you to keep in mind that it gets more specific and more triggering, and I want you to be open to that. I want you to understand that that's where you're going to find everything that makes you you. You know, when this first happened to me, I knew this was an opportunity. I was like, Val, this your life's about to change, and use all of this to change it. So we'll get into that in a second, but I first want you to understand that there will never be a reality where you do not have a challenge, and you should not wish for that. You will be let down every time, and then you're just going to have disappointment for the rest of your life. And why have that? So number one is it's actually impossible to remove it, because your electromagnetic field is going to have the perfect balance pieces, and it's also going to have your next pieces of what you want to step into, what you want to grow in, what you want to evolve in. And there is no way of stopping that. If you're on this earth, it means you still have more that you want to understand about yourself. There's going to be more genius and value in you that you can unlock. So you might as well accept that and see it as a positive. So I would say know that you can't get rid of challenges. And then the second thing is to tweak the reaction and love for it. I think for me, I always say this, like I used to think my life was cursed. There was a lot of challenges. And then once I started doing all of these, like I had my spiritual awakening, I started using and understanding the universe differently. I thought the challenges were just going to disappear. And they did for a hot second. And then they came back. And I had to realize, okay, why are they coming back? And I was like, oh, because this is where I grow and learn. This is where I find the answers. I had to accept it. And then I also had to start realizing in those moments, that is where I turned on. That is where my value started to get crafted in a way that without it, I would not be able to be where I am now. I am so thankful for every challenge that I have faced over the last all years, but definitely over the last 6 to 8 years, there has been challenges that helped me unlock my value and my understanding of self and unlock mastery of financial, mastery of relationships, mastery of emotional intelligence. None of that I would have without being challenged. And I mean challenged by people, situations, circumstances, all of it. Emotional challenges, spiritual challenges. None of what I know today would be in me without the challenges. And I do say this to a lot of people that if, by the way, if you hear noise, which I can hear outside, I apologize. Like I said, we're going with this. Um, they're doing construction. See, rebuild. But I was saying is I tell clients all the time that I can't just tell you something and you actually embody it. You have to walk through it. It is quite literally the only way we change our DNA and our reaction to things. We have to walk through it. You can read books all day. You can get information all day. You can listen to this all day long, but if you do not put it into practice, it will disappear and it will 100% disappear. If you are at a level 10, you'll go back to Val at 6 years old, those programs will not be in you. It has to be an embodiment of understanding. So every challenge that I've gone through over the many years, it was me having to embody the things that I understood. And let me tell you, it was not easy. There was so many times where I wanted to rip my hair out because I have this person in front of me triggering me left and right, and I have all these tools that I know, and they're not in me yet, and I'm having to like insert my reaction and change how I interact with the moment. Sometimes I failed at it, sometimes I didn't. But it was doing that over and over and over again, facing those challenges in different ways that crafted who I am today. And once you do that enough, at a certain point, when you do get a level 10 reflection, which funny enough, this fire reflection is really only in the 60s for me. It's not even the most heightened reflection. But when you get those higher reflections, these systems, because there's an embodiment of it, they come on. And truly, your consciousness really you can expand your consciousness with information. But to hold a consciousness, you need the embodiment of it. So challenges are ways to get information that you need and walk the walk, start walking through it in a different way. And that is where I have found my true value in all of those moments. Again, going back, I'm so thankful for every challenge. I have such markers in my brain of big challenges I've gone through and all the people involved, all the situations involved. I am beyond thankful for them because it is what transformed me. It awakened so much in me It showed me who and what I'm capable of. So, one, challenges are never going to disappear. Two, I want you to start thinking of them as these amazing moments that can transform your life and that you can actually unlock yourself in them because that is where you're going to find your specific genius. And everyone has different geniuses, but it's in those moments that those pieces start to unlock and unravel. And then there's that embodiment of it. And for me, it was very clear with everything that happened 3 weeks ago and that I'm still in right now. There are programs that are running because I've done it a million times that makes this a lot easier. And so I would say number three is when you listen to these videos or audios and we talk about all of these beliefs, it's not just some concept to listen to. It is a form of reprogramming your system to get through challenges in a very easy, manageable way. Just going off of the number one episode, and we've only talked about one so far on here. And I'm sure if you've worked with me, obviously we talked about a million, but let's just go to the one, Inside Out World. My first reaction to the fires was, how the heck did I create that? What is out of whack that this is my now experience? It wasn't a and this is no offense, but there wasn't that victim, this is happening to me, how dare, this happened to me. The first reaction was, okay, what on my field created this? Because my higher self is really trying to get my attention, really trying to get my attention. Now, what's really cool is it was trying to get my attention, but also my higher self and source uses these moments to align you to the next chapter. And it was also very clear to me that I just spent 2 years understanding and mastering a lot of specific things in my world. And this is like the reset. Like it really had to push me into the next chapter. And I can see that so clearly. So not only are you in a challenge, you're going to have a message, but it also might be the realign to something you've been working really hard on internally. So there is that positive thing. But for me, like I said, the these programs got kicked up so loud because I've done this. I've taken on challenges and inserted these laws of the universe. And so when you get challenged, those start to take over. You don't go into a low frequency human way of looking at things. And if you do that, that's going to be so painful. There's no way out. I did that. When things used to happen to me, it was like, woe is me. I'm cursed. Life sucks. What are we doing here? This time, it's like now, it's like, okay, cool. I created something. My higher self is trying to get my attention. It's never for the bad. It's very clear. None of that stuff was a match to me anymore, so it's gone. This universe is not here to torture you. Challenges are not here to cause you pain. They're not going to use a situation if it's not 100% good for you. 100%. And I mean that on every level. There is so much substance that can come out of a challenge. And for me, I've gotten new tools that now I can look and predict certain things that I didn't even think to look at. So I got new tools. I have a new understanding of an imbalance. I also can see that all of the work I've been doing for the last 2 years actually worked. I know that sounds crazy, right? It's a negative thing, but I can see that because I did all of this upgrade, that literally everything is no longer a match to me anymore. What happens is your brain really starts to use these laws of the universe to get above the challenge. And that is the key to life and challenges is you're going to want to see that bigger picture point of view. If you're in the weeds, you will feel horrible. And I've had that life, that human in the weeds type of living. And I was angry and sad and emotional all the time. And I'm not saying emotions are bad, they are not. But using them in a way that opens up your life is a whole other thing. And it wasn't that I didn't cry. Of course, I cried. I was going through something just like everyone else goes through things, and it got my attention. And I was like, "Ooh, what is that? What is hitting that?" And I listened to those and I used it to unlock things. And if you take this channel and really start to embody these understandings on a small scale and then a medium scale, when you get to the higher scale, these understandings will start to take over and you won't feel as much pain. It will always be an opening. And that's the thing. At this point in my life, challenges for me, I always win. There is no losing in a challenge. I know for a fact I can use it, I can unlock it, I can step into my value, my genius, and then gain from it, which means every challenge, everything, even if it doesn't look like it on the physical level, I know at a certain point I will win. And I say win in not a negative way. I say win in the sense of it's an opportunity. It's a chance to completely unlock things that I could not unlock without those moments. So challenges, right? We're starting to paint a different picture of them. And I really want that for you guys because I have so many clients over the years I've seen where I think they become hard on themselves because they're doing all this work and they're like, why is this happening to me? And I really want it to be clear that challenges never leave and you should not want them to leave. But what you should do is try to reprogram how you view them. Because if you can reprogram how you view them, then the experience with them completely shifts. I would start in small moments of challenges of having a different reaction. Literally, say your laundry detergent, you can't open it, or something's wrong with the machine. It's a mini challenge, but if you can just start reprogramming your reaction to it and start to think, okay, this is going to unlock something. And challenges is where I really find out who I truly am at the core. If you can start to just say that out loud and start to reprogram your way of looking at it, you will actually start to look at it differently and it will be a good experience, not a, oh God, this is happening to me experience. Like I said, I'm going to try to record as much during this process. My schedule is all over the place and it's a whole new world over here. But I will try to record as much as I can and I want to launch this as quickly as I can because I want you guys to see how quickly things can turn around if you use a challenge in a way that is a bigger picture viewpoint. And for me, just so you understand the timeline, it's been 3 weeks, literally, I think to the day, I think, or a day after of the fires. And I took 2 weeks to just allow my system to have its automatic programs to pull me out of it. And then once I got certain emotions calm and whatnot, then I started to look in and figure out all of the actual pieces. Now I'm feeling a lot better because I have those understandings. The pain goes away the minute you understand something. The pain is only there because it's trying to get your attention. Once I figured out where I was going to live, within, I think it was the same day or 24 hours, I found a house through a friend of a friend, which is amazing. I'm just now waiting to see there's some logistical things. And so I should be moving within the month. And I'm kind of using this opportunity also to use all the tools that I have and go, okay, let's see all the stuff that I've done. Let's see how quickly I can turn everything around. And not that I need the speed, but I kind of like to strengthen other muscles now during this and go, okay, let's see how quickly I can go from 0 to 100 and take something like this and not let it be something that is so heavy that it halts my entire life. It keeps me in a state of just reliving it. It's like, cool, how can I take this experience and make it go beyond what I had before? There's little mini beliefs you can think of, like okay, challenges, you see the little circle and then there's spikes coming from it, and there's all these other little circles. All these other little circles are little beliefs that you can start to attach to challenges, and the more you have, the more you're going to see your reaction be very different in a challenge. And so for me, my now new little belief that I'm adding on to challenges is like, cool. And every challenge, now let me see if I can take this and go beyond what I had before. And so that is my new little project of, okay, great. That was my life then. And now I'm going to go farther and go beyond what I had. And so I'm going to try to document as much as I can and share certain understandings along the way, but I wanted to jump on here, say hello, get this information out as soon as I can. The launch got pushed a little back because it was like the week of the fire I was supposed to launch this. So it's okay. It's going to come out when it's supposed to. But I am so happy you're here. Please, if anyone is going through any of this, because I know there's so many of us, I am here to help every step of the way. My love goes out to you. This is what is going to make us become the most brilliant people we can be. And I really want you guys to take that away from today, is that the challenges in your life, from small to big, that is where you're going to come alive. And I want you to come alive. I want you to step into who you truly are, because if we are all up there, we will all thrive. So today's mission, this week's mission, start to reprogram challenges. Be open to the understanding that they will always be in your life, and have an excitement for them. Even though that sounds crazy, I did get to a place of that. It is possible. It is possible. And my love goes out to all of you. Thank you so much.